You are now listening to The Brock Talk. This is a podcast where I do just that. I talk about my experiences, the things I've gained, the things I've lost, and the things I've learned along the way. Thank you for tuning in. Now, let's talk. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning back into another episode of The Brock Talk. I'm so glad you can be with me today. I'm so glad I have this opportunity to discuss and tell my stories. And that's exactly what this podcast is about. It's about just telling my perspective, giving you some insight on the things I'm going through, the things I've gone through, and hopefully this helps you out in any way. And if it does, I'm so grateful for that, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful I have this platform to share and enlighten. And I just want to say that if I do help you or if I do give you some sense of entertainment or education or enlightenment, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your positivity, and I would love to hear your stories. And I know this is kind of like a one-way street when it comes to me recording with no one to talk back. So what I want to do is when you listen to this, act like I'm talking to you, act like we're having a conversation and give me feedback, communicate back to me with a direct message or with a text or with anything, and just share something, right? And this is exactly what I want this podcast to be, is a place to share things, for me to share things to you, and hopefully you can share something to me. And if you want it to be private, send me a private message and just tell me, just give me something. And if you want to go publicly with it, this is where you help not just yourself out, but help me out a ton. And I would appreciate this very much. Share the link, share the podcast, share the YouTube video, share it out, because if it helped you, it more than likely is going to help someone else. And that's all I want this to be about. I want this to be a set of fresh perspective for someone to change something or do something or mean something else. Share it away, man. Share it away. And that helps me out. I so appreciate that. That's going to uplift this platform and it can take it to higher grounds. And that's what I want it to do, I don't want this just to be a fun little funsy thing on the side. I'm really dedicated to this. I'm dedicated to perfecting the craft of podcasting and getting better at it, so where I can hopefully make it something possibly lucrative in the long term. Who knows? I'm a very optimistic person. I'm very driven at this, and I want this to be effective for you. Hopefully we can get it that way. It takes my effort, of course, and that's what I'm going to try to do, but it also takes effort from you guys, and I appreciate it very much. I'm so grateful for it. So if you could share it on your news feed, share it on your timeline, share it on your stories, your Snapchats, your Instagrams, Twitters, Facebooks, wherever it is, share it away. So that way we can get this to the best place it can be and help as many people out as we can. And that's what it's all about. So guys, you can probably tell from the title of this podcast and any graphic you maybe saw on the internet, I am quitting my job. That's what it says in the title. I am quitting my job. And a lot of people could look at that right now being like, what in the monkey hell are you doing, leaving something of security and sustainability of income in a time like this? In a time of 2020, COVID, and all this craziness going on, how are you going to leave something like that? Here's the thing. This has been weighing on my heart for a long time now. Throughout maybe the last year, since I've been doing the video stuff and communicating with other people and meeting new people and doing things of that nature, I've gone into a bit of a bigger perspective on the world and what I want from it. Let's be more clear. I am quitting coaching at Anytime Fitness, CrossFit Fort Dodge. Here's my thoughts on it first before I get into details. Just what I'm feeling emotionally. I'm scared shitless. I really am jumping out on a whim here. I'm kind of just taking the leap with not too much of a big plan. Like, it's not that diverse. I do have plans. I have a lot of things like calculated and set up by what I'm going to do, but I'm just taking a risk. The reason why I'm doing all this is because I am slowly, over probably the last year, have just started to fall out of love with what I was doing there. Not to say I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I do know it takes a certain level of commitment. It takes a certain level of passion and enthusiasm. And probably over the last 6 months or so, I have noticed myself not having those things, not being able to come to the table and provide enough. I don't want myself to affect those other people. I don't want to just get by with what I do. I don't want to be that guy that just kind of comes in, punches the time clock, does the bare minimum, and then calls it a day. And I've seen myself start to grow that way and start to develop those habits. I told myself, probably a month or so back, that I can't be that person. and I have to either give what I can or step away from it. And that's what I'm doing. And this is because I don't want to say like I wasn't given anything for the lack of trying. I was just too strung out with the things I'm doing. I still work at the high school, so I'm a high school strength coach. So I'm doing that. Then I'm trying to coach plus kind of help them out with like marketing and social media and things like that. Then I'm trying to run my own thing. I'm trying to run my own videography business. And I had 3 things, and my 100% of my effort, only 30-ish%, like 33% was going to each thing. I was kind of scraping the surface of the bare minimum of the things and the potential that I had at those 3 things. It just came down to a decision of, where can I go? Where should I be going? What has like the greater ceiling for me? And I just had to make that decision and that realization that obviously making videos, creating content, weddings, events, like working with brands, working with companies, that definitely has a higher ceiling as far as like opportunity is so big. And though I'm like not anywhere near where I want to be to probably do that and go out on my own, I thought like, there's no time better than the present. And I always told people that when I coach them. So like I'm harping back on my past of telling people that, hey, like if you want to start working out, there's no better time than the present. You can't wait till tomorrow. You can't wait till next month. You can't wait till the new year. And though it's obviously a different environment, the concept is still the same, where I have to understand that there's no time better than the present. And especially if I want to get to where I'm going, I have to really drive myself and focus myself in that avenue. Yes, it's a scary thing, I know, and it might be a foolish thing. You know, it might be the wrong decision. But how am I to know if it's the right or wrong decision if I never make it? I don't want to be the guy that looks behind me one day when I'm like old and gray and just sitting in my rocking chair thinking about the past. And when I'm there, I don't want to tell myself, man, what if? Now, I know like the what ifs are inevitable. Like we're always going to have what ifs. We can't do everything. We can't be everything. But I think the things that we have the most control of should be the things that we don't say what if to. If it blows up in my face, it'll blow up in my face. I'm now willing to let that happen. And if I fail, I'm going to fail with a smile on my face. I'm going to fail happily. And I want to do things that drive passion and enthusiasm out of me. I want to secrete enjoyment and fulfillment. And I want someone to look at the things that I do and see a person of fueled passion. I don't want to be the guy that sits behind a desk and just scrapes by. That can be seen as maybe a negative thing, and it's not, you know? Like, I'm not trying to downgrade the job that I have and I'm leaving and anything like that. But I just want to show the world that there's always more. There's always more to be had. And sometimes we got to step out of our comfort zone. We have to change something. And I think I've said this in a previous podcast that change is the only constant. There's always change in life. There's nothing but change in our life. Every day changes. The time changes. The days, the months, the years. Our own body. We change. Change is going to happen, but we got to try to figure out ways to make it happen in the best positive ways we can. And again, I'm trying to communicate this, and I don't want it to come off as like these things that I'm leaving are bad. It's not. I'm not leaving for any bad reason. I'm leaving the nest, you know? A little birdie, when they make littler birdies, those birdies soon have to go off and sprout their wings and go live. And that's just what this is. This is just a moment in time where I have to sprout my wings and go see what life has to offer, see what this next chapter of mine has to offer. And again, it can be seen as a scary thing. Like I'm pretty petrified because I don't have it all figured out. I don't have all the answers. I don't have it all put together. I'm going to go out as enthusiastically as I can with the biggest smile on my face, and I'm going to learn things, and I'm going to pick things up along the way, and I'm going to grow and develop and thrive. That's the biggest thing, is like whether I fail or succeed, I still have to thrive, and that's what I'm going to do. Kind of going back to, again, this decision of mine, it's the things that I possess that make me a hard person to have multiple things and multiple endeavors in my life, because I'll be quite honest, I can't juggle a lot of things all at once. I don't even have a family or kids yet, if you listen to the previous podcast. I'm just a single dude. I don't even have like a house or a mortgage or anything crazy. But even the things that I have had are getting hard to juggle. I don't want to have all those things drop at once. I don't want to fail entirely. So what I have to do is I have to essentially just put something down so I can continue to give the energy and the effort that I have. These things can't get all of it. Because like I said, otherwise I'm just going to be scraping the bare minimum and just barely getting by or just getting by. And I don't want that. I want to have whatever that I do be the best thing that I can do. I always strive like 100%. I have a bit of an addictive personality when it comes to certain things. If I find something that I enjoy, I usually go all in. And that's what I did with my fitness career. And now that's what I'm doing with my video production career. I'm going all in. And I think that's what it takes. I think if you want something to be great, it has to encompass all of you. And if you want it to grow and flourish and thrive and be a big success, it again has to take all of you. If you're not giving all of yourself to certain things, and it could be a couple things, I'm not saying like one, you could do one, if you can handle 3+ opportunities and projects, like that's awesome, man, but I can't. And again, it just came down to my potential of growth. I honestly feel I was tapped out of where I could go with that career. Now, I'm still going to obviously be in the strength setting, and that's a fun thing because that's still going to be something that I can still have a part of me and have flourishness to it. But I'm just not that guy anymore. I'm coming to that realization that I'm no longer that guy, I'm no longer the enthusiastic guy that has all these aspirations of being a seasoned career CrossFit coach. And not that it can't be sustainable, but in my circumstance, I don't think it can. And it's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. It's just something that is. It is what it is, and it is what it ain't. Okay, I've talked about kind of the more philosophical things, but what I'm leaving to do is just pursue a more dedicated career in building my brand, building my company of video production. And I just have so many things and so many like desired projects that were not feasible with doing multiple things. That was another reason outside of changing myself and not being the person that wants to coach anymore. I now want to give my full effort to building a brand and building a company and working on projects that I actually can have time for and not put the bare minimum in. And I want to have the people that I work for building these videos and creating these videos, I want them to know that they're getting my 100%. And I mean truly 100%. I want to say I was giving my 100% before this, but I didn't have 100% of that 100% to give. Whatever I had, they got, but they weren't getting enough because it was put in other areas. Now I'm taking it from those areas and I'm putting it in this. So I'm giving more of my effort, more of my time, more of my focus. And that's what I feel they deserve. I pride myself on giving a quality product and a quality service. I know anyone who probably knows me can testify to this, that I generally bust my ass doing things. I usually, when I figure out something in my head and I find something I'm good at, I flip and go all in on it and I give 100%. And that's what I kind of pride myself on is I might not be the best. I might not have the best skills, but I'm going to be a hard worker at it. I'm going to give 100% of my effort, 100% of my attitude. That's what I now want to do with this. I want to go forth and be the best thing I can be. I'm not going to say I'm not going to make mistakes. I'm going to mess up a lot. Not purposely, but I know I'm flawed and I have flaws, but I'm going to embrace those. And I think that's what people need to understand is when you come to me with something, with an idea, a video or whatever, though it could possibly be flawed, it's going to be authentic, it's going to be real, and it's going to be everything that I have. That's all I can do, I just want to be able to say I tried. At the end of my lifespan, I want to be doing things that made me happy and full and satisfied, regardless of success with money or things or anything like that. My success is going to be my happiness. This new chapter and new endeavor I want to do is something that's making me happy, and that's where I'm going. Whether I fail or succeed or anything in the middle, as long as I'm happy, I'll be satisfied. So yeah, that is that. And you know what? I could ramble on about a lot of other things, but I've kind of made a decision that I want to just chill out, I know I'm a scatterbrain and I'm very all over the place. Doesn't mean that this podcast has to be. Though it might be at times, I want to try to make it just chill and precise and to the point. So we're going to conclude this episode on that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said before, make sure you share this out. Share this to the public. Share this to someone who would maybe want to hear it. It helps me out, and it could possibly help them out. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Go hit the follows on Spotify, share the links, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will see you